Hey everybody, welcome to the RCBastion, the bastion that is all things RC. Welcome to the channel. This is the first video that I'm uploading, so it's a very nice kind of special moment for the channel and myself. But yeah, today is just a quick little video over the Kraton 6S, my first impressions, my first thoughts. The Kraton's brand new. The Kraton is not even 5 days old. Oh, it's probably on its 5th day as far as age goes. We'll get straight into it because I've tried to record this video already and it just went for way too long. So we'll get straight into it. This is the shell. Nothing special about the shell. It's just your typical Lexan shell. It's decent in build quality for something out of the box. It's got your body pins held on by the rubber ties there on the body mounts there. I'll get into that a little bit later. It's got some reinforced sticky tape on the insides, especially where the clips slide through to keep that protected. So all in all, the shell's cool. I got the blue one, obviously. I think it looks a little bit nicer than the red one. I'll stop talking about the shell because the shell's probably the most boring part. But I do have some comments to say on the shell regarding the body pins, so I will get back to that for sure in kind of a cons list of the truck. But getting into the truck itself, it is a very standard layout. If you've seen the Arrma stuff before, but the chassis layout and the way the electronics and the batteries are laid out, it's pretty common through most of the Arrma trucks. We've got our electronic speed controls and motor on the servo, I should say, on the right-hand side of the truck, or left-hand side if you're looking at it. And then you got your batteries on your right-hand side. It can accommodate a single 4S or a single 6S or two 2Ss and two 3Ss. So it can accommodate for that. If you want to run single batteries, it does come with the connector loop to close the loop there. So you can just run a single battery. Maybe a single battery would be good. So if you are someone out there who only has one battery charger that only charges one battery at a time, maybe grab yourself a high capacity single 6S or a single 4S, because I've heard you get some really good run times out of them as well. So people are getting about 30 to 40 minutes on a high capacity single 6S battery or something like that. So car can do it beautifully well. It's got also in front of the batteries, because we have the new Spectrum Smart Receiver in there, this bad boy in here. Works really well. The receiver box is all waterproof. It's a nice big receiver box as well, so you can put aftermarket receiver boxes in there. Sorry, receivers in there until your heart's content. The truck does come with the new SLT3 transmitter from Spectrum. So this is just a very bare bones Spectrum radio. It's very standard. It's all black. It's very, very plasticky. It's very basic, very standard, but it does exactly what you want it to do out of the box. No latency issues, no range issues, no battery life issues. The programming is user-friendly enough. It's a very good radio to include in the box, especially it's a massive upgrade over what they were giving you with the V4, that's for sure. You don't have to upgrade your radio out of the box. This will do everything for you, which is really good. It's what you want to see on an RTR. Some of the key points, you've got the wishbone suspension, the threaded wishbone suspension. You've got all metal drivetrain, so all your gears are metal, all your dog bones and drive shafts are metal. Really sturdy drivetrain in there, guys. I've got my 15-tooth speed pinion on here, and I've just been running it and bashing it with the 15-tooth. The chart that comes with the car, it says here with the Kraton, once you read everything, it says with this speed pinion, not to bash or go off-road or anything like that, because it can result in overheating of the electronics. It says you should only use this pinion on smooth surfaces, but that's not true, guys. It's probably just a warning just to keep you from, I don't know, just to save their ends, just in case something goes wrong with the truck. But I've been driving it exclusively with the 15-tooth on, and it's only been going off-road, and it loves it. Standing wheelies, no matter where you are on the throttle. It absolutely loves it. Of course, it takes the new IC5 connectors. They are EC5 compatible. Obviously, they're basically exactly the same. The IC5s just have a extra wire run for telemetry, for battery voltages and stuff like that. Out of the box, you can't really take advantage of it because the radio system just won't accommodate it. But you can upgrade if you're looking to venture into that into the future, which can be pretty cool, getting telemetry readouts on your remote. for whatever reason, if you're into that. Another key point, it's got the D boots, copperhead tires on it. A little bit soft for the average driver. It's fine. The front rear wheels balloon a little bit more than I'd like, but that just comes down to the power of it. The rears are perfectly fine. They're always on the floor. They're always putting down the power well. I probably need a little bit more power going to the rear wheels, but basically the car could probably use a little bit heavier fluids in the back, maybe some shims, just to give the rear a little bit more power to stop the front end from ballooning as much, and to keep it on the floor a little bit more. So there's definitely a lot of adjustments and a lot of customization you can do to the truck, especially out of the box. They give you like spare pistons for the shocks, so you can make the shocks a little bit stiffer if you'd like, or looser. And then they also give you diff shims. Now the diff shims are very interesting because I did not know this. So I don't know if they've just copied and pasted the picture of the diff from the EXB, because the EXB also has this exact same differential and housing. If so, if they've copied and pasted this, then the diff on this piece of paper is different from the diff inside the Kraton. But from reading the forums, it might have the 29mm EXB diff in there. The V5 Kraton might actually be using the EXB diff. If this is exactly how the diff looks inside that housing, and if, because this is a very distinguishable EXB diffs. When I venture into that soon, I will be sure to let you guys know in the comments. It's got a revised rear shock tower, so the shocks are being mounted a little bit closer to each other, whereas before on the V4, they were mounted a little bit wider out, which was putting a lot more pressure on the chassis when you were landing. The A-arms, before I get to the chassis, the A-arms have been revised. They're a bit beefier. They should be stronger than before. The wheels stay on beautifully. I've only had to tighten them a few times. The chassis has been revised as well. So the chassis on the V4 was known for bending and flexing. This one, I haven't had any bending and flexing on it as of yet. I'll throw in a crash that I did the other day onto a tree here. Oh, that was nice. Ooh, big crash, guys. So yeah, that's probably my worst crash in the truck since owning it. It's not very old at all, so I haven't had too many opportunities to bend the chassis. I have had a few crashes, but nothing too serious to really put it in any danger. So that tree crash is probably the worst thing I've had, and it came out of it okay. It came out of it fine, to be honest with you. My battery took a little bit of a hit, but she didn't puff or anything like that. The casing just kind of cracked open a bit, but other than that, it's fine from that accident. So the chassis has been revised. It's been made thicker. You can tell I've been jumping it already. It's a shame they never stay as clean as what they come out of the box. The width of the chassis here, on the V4s and the previous renditions, the triangle taper here, this part here where it tapers off into a triangle, that taper was starting much earlier. It was starting back here. It was starting where the plastic dust protectors or guards end. So that's where the taper was starting. It was starting to triangle off from here. And obviously that was making this part very, very weak. So what they've done obviously is they've extended the width out. So they've made the total width come out a little bit longer. And they've also put these little rivets or dents in the chassis here. So the little humps, if you run your finger over them, they push out, they protrude. And then on the inside of the chassis, on the other side, in here, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but in here, there's little divots. So when you run your finger over it, your finger kind of goes into the chassis and then back up. So that's supposed to stiffen the chassis as well. So I haven't had it bend, haven't really put it through a situation where it should bend, but it's holding up really, really well. It definitely needs a clean. It's squeaking a little bit, so there's dust and dirt in places where it shouldn't be. So the car definitely gets dirty where it's supposed to get dirty. As far as the internals go, they stay genuinely pretty clean, especially if you just get like a shop vac and just blow everything out, or, you know, vacuum it up off the car. I would recommend a dust cover, because I have had the fan in the ESC stop turning a few times because of debris in there, dust, little bits of grass and whatnot. So I have had to blow that out as well. So keep that in mind. You might want to invest in a dust cover for the mains, for the guts of the car. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I will comment on a few little gripes I have with the car. The body pins, as good as this rubber tie, implementation is, it's still not as good as, you know, what Traxxas are doing with the clipless system. And the reason I say that is because when you get a new RC, you guys will know this, when you're putting the clips into the clip posts, these holes that have been made to accommodate those clips, they are very, very tight. They're like too tight nearly. But getting those pins in and out was near impossible. Like I feel like the action of pushing them in and out was what was making that hole bigger and smaller. So a bit of a pain there, guys, and you can tell how hard I was pulling and pushing these pins in, because unfortunately one of the clips has come out of the rubber tie here, so I have to keep an eye on that clip because it only comes with 4, and I have to make sure I don't lose it. So I do plan on getting the tie fixed, but I can see it happening again in the future. I can see that tie breaking. The car just has to be driven more, so those holes get a little bit looser. You know, let's keep that sensible. But on the performance of the car really quick before I get to what I'm running as far as batteries go. This part's not too important, so I'll just lightly go over it. Performance is great. It's easily doing 80 kilometers an hour off the road, 70 to 80 kilometers an hour off road. I'm talking grass, loose dirt, gravel. It's easily doing it. Easily. I probably can't say easily any more times without sounding stupid. On road, it is a different beast. All the power you feel being just lost off road and you know, being kicked up by the tires, it's there with the road. You know, the wheels do spin quite a bit because of the power, especially in success. But on road, if you gradually bring the throttle on until you're pinned, it will just fly past you. If you blink, you'll miss it. You do have to be careful because they do pick up a lot of speed. Yeah, I really don't think I've got 2 3S packs at 5,200 milliamps at a 50C discharge. So just a very basic battery, just a very standard battery for something like this. And it loves it. It absolutely loves it. Picks up on 2 wheels no matter what part of the throttle you're on. Screams past. I've actually, out of the box, again, I won't go too much into the programming side of things, but out of the box, it comes with a punch setting, and the punch setting is set to 4 out of 9. So you actually get it at half the amount of punch power. You can ramp that all the way up to 9. You're not going to get more speed out of the truck. That's not how it works. You're just going to get a much higher acceleration, a much higher torque hit at specific RPMs of the motor. So I haven't actually ventured there yet. I actually dumbed the punch down by 1. I set it to 3 instead of 4, so I can drive it in a little bit of smaller, areas. So the power doesn't come on as heavy, but you can fully adjust that. You can make it more powerful, more accelerating, more punchy. The sky's the limit there, because like I said, out of the box, it comes in level 4 out of 9. So you can slowly work your way up if you really want to. The receiver's really good as far as like a safety side of things go as well. You can actually limit the amount of power that the car gets from 100% to 75% to 50%. So that's really good when you're giving it to someone younger or someone who wants to have a go but doesn't have as much experience. It's a very, very cool thing. You literally just flick a switch on the remote, and she's good to go. Guys, that's pretty much all I can say. The performance is top tier. The durability is top tier. Like I said, I told you the battery setup I'm running, they're just cheapy batteries. So I get about 12 minutes, 15 minutes if I'm lucky out of the batteries. That's something I recommend too, guys. If you do pick up a truck like this, anything that runs on 2 batteries or 1 big battery, definitely try and get yourself 2 sets of batteries, guys, because there's nothing worse than charging batteries for an hour and a half and then having a 10-minute, 15-minute run time and then having to come home and do the same thing. And that's pretty much it. That's all I can say for the car, guys. Servo's busted at the moment, so I can't run it until I get a new one. However, I do have a Slash over there that's got some problems with the ESC or some battery problems, so I might take the stock Traxxas servo out of that and throw it in here for the time being until my new one comes. Guys, if any other stuff comes up that's worth content, you know, such as the diff shimming or whatever I end up doing today, or even if I get it running today with the with that slash servo, I'll definitely be sure to update you guys if anything cool comes up that I want to share. But that's it, guys. That is the Kraton 6S BLX from Arrma. This is the V5. It's in a nutshell, it's basically got all the upgrades on it from the EXB. I'd say it's nearly just as good as a basher as the EXB, especially considering it comes with electronics. And it's just as expensive, if not cheaper, once you add the electronics to the EXB. You get a lot for what you pay for, guys. You get an absolute lot for what you pay for. It is a shame about that servo. I don't know if that's a occurring thing or not on these cars, but scrolling through the forums, it doesn't seem to be. Not this early into the life as well, which is a bit disappointing. But you won't be disappointed if you're waiting to pull the trigger. Very, very good car, very fast, very easy to control, very user friendly. Parts are always readily available for the car. And at not overly expensive prices either. You can get like some really good parts for bang for the buck prices for this car and just keep it going for as long as you want, you know what I mean? So yeah, can't recommend it enough, guys. Definitely gets the tick of approval from the RCBastion, and I'll be sure to throw more content at you guys with this truck. So stay tuned for that, guys. Yeah, guys, so that's the Kraton 6S BLX V5. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the video. If you've got any questions, feel free to post them in the comments below. I will answer them as soon as possible. And yeah, guys, thanks for joining me on the first ever video on the RCBastion channel. I hope to bring you much more cool content, and I hope I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and show your support. Thanks, guys.